Good morning, and thank you all for coming, and welcome to Fairmont, Minnesota for our dedication of the Cobra 327 helicopter. The Fairmont City Band will perform a salute to the Armed Forces of the United States of America. For our veterans that are in attendance, would you please stand if you are able when you hear your service song?
Please stand for the posting of the colors. Honor Guard, advance colors. Post colors. Present arms. 2, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing and join with the city band and Chris Tillotson as she sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Chris. That was beautiful. If you're wearing a cap, would you please uncover now as we are given the invocation by Chaplain Major Corey Germain.
Almighty and gracious God, we thank you for this beautiful day and the freedom that allows us to assemble here amid the glory of your creation. We gather to dedicate this gallant aircraft, Cobra 327, as a memorial to the veterans of Martin County. We thank you, O Lord, for this machine's storied history, protecting troop transports in the hostile skies above Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, as well as its later civilian duties in California. May this fearsome warbird, now restored through the tireless efforts of so many volunteers, serve as a reminder of our country's commitment to stand against tyranny and oppression wherever they are encountered. As we enjoy today's dedication ceremony and the accompanying program, keep us mindful of the legacy of service and sacrifice which this helicopter and this larger Martin County Veterans Memorial signify to our community. Help us always to remember that America owes her very life to you and that her future rests in your counsel. All this we pray in your mighty name. Amen. Amen. Recover.
Thank you, Corey Germain. You may now be seated. Now would you please welcome the chairman of the Martin County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Steve Flores.
Well, good morning out there. This is just a great day for the citizens of Martin County and all the veterans that are gathered here. On behalf of the citizens of Martin County, I want to welcome all of you here. They have a great day, and I want to thank you for all the things that you've done for us and the tremendous sacrifices that you've made for us. I'd also like to introduce my fellow commissioners. You've already sort of met Mr. Belgard. We have Kathy Smith down here and Richard Coons. Okay, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Steve. And now I am honored to introduce Pamela Powers, Acting Deputy Secretary of the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. As Acting Deputy, Ms. Powers serves in broad roles designated by the Secretary, including leading enterprise modernization of the federal government's second largest cabinet department, with over 400,000 employees serving in medical centers, clinics, benefit offices, and national cemeteries across the country. Ms. Powers has nearly 30 years of service in the Air Force and the Department of Defense. Before joining Veterans Affairs, Ms. Powers served as Secretary Wilkie's Chief of Staff during his tenure as the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. In that capacity, she was responsible for Department of Defense Total Force Management operations. During her military service, Ms. Powers was assigned to posts in Arizona, Delaware, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. In 2015, she deployed to Kuwait to serve as the Chief of Staff to the 9th Expeditionary Task Force Combined Joint Task Operation Inherent Resolve. Ms. Powers is a native Minnesotan, having grown up in Prior Lake. She is a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, and she retired from the Air Force as a colonel on March 1st, 2018. Her awards and decorations include the Legion of Merit and the Defense Meritorious Service Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm Minnesota welcome to Ms. Pamela Powers.
Good morning. It is truly great to be here. Thank you for that kind introduction. And Mayor Debbie Foster and everyone, thank you for welcoming to this beautiful city of Fairmont. As I mentioned, it's truly great to be back in Minnesota. I can finally breathe again and out of the craziness of DC, and it really is crazy. But it's wonderful to be back in Minnesota. I'd first like to offer my deep thanks to Martin County Veterans Memorial Committee, Chairman Jim Miller and Chairman Terry Anderson, and all your devoted members. And on behalf of President Trump, VA Secretary Wilkie, and the veterans that we serve at the Department of Veterans Affairs, thank you. Cobra 327 is still and silent, but the roar of its rockets, the explosion of its minigun, and the beat of those blades beating the air into submission, as some helicopter pilots describe it, those sounds will echo through the ages. And I have little doubt that the Vietnam veterans here today and those that will see this years to come still hear it. Whether on reconnaissance in Vietnam, Laos, or Cambodia, providing close air support, or escorting Hueys and Chinooks as they flew troops and supplies in and out of the hottest LZs. Again and again, thousands of men and women fighting in Vietnam and other conflicts since have seen that Cobra silhouetted overhead, charging by few dangerous feet above treetops, or diving back to return to target. In that, they found some measure of inspiration, comfort, or moments of reprieve, perhaps some measure of salvation. But as an old warrant officer once said, that thing does not fly by itself. And so admiring this airframe rightly turns our thoughts to our veterans that we honor here to celebrate and to whom we owe the greatest debt of gratitude. They are the courageous pilots and gunners of units like the legendary Ruthless Riders of Sea Troops, 7th Squadron, 17th Cavalry. They are our nation's best, like First Lieutenant David Stinson, and Gunner Warrant Officer 1 Stephen Wilton, who landed Cobra 327 safely its last time in Laos. And there are so many other veterans who flew those Cobras, Loaches, Hueys, and Chinooks into the fiercest of fights under the most extreme conditions, and they are the ones who put their lives on the line every day for us and for generations to come. But we also need to honor and celebrate the courage, the determination, the ingenuity, and the plain grit of the tireless crews who kept them flying in and out of combat. They're the crew chiefs, the engine mechanics, the sheet metal mechanics, avionics repairmen, armament techs, test pilots, and so many others. They were the craftsmen who worked tirelessly to patch them back up, make them airworthy so they could go back into the fight. And by honoring all of them, we honor every veteran who came before them and after, and we honor servicemen and women fighting and standing watch today across the globe. I'll close with the reflections of Vietnam helicopter pilot Rick Joker 94 Lester, who once wrote of our Vietnam veterans, "Let no one ever question the intentions of these honorable men. In the finest traditions of our great country, they answered the call and they went forth with only the best of intentions, and they did all that were asked, and with their lives, they showed their commitment. What more could our country or anyone ask?" So to our beloved Vietnam veterans, if you are here today, can you please raise your hand? Thank you. Welcome home.
Thank you.
And welcome home, Cobra 327. And to everyone who worked together to bring her home, thank you. Thank you again for hosting me and honoring me to allow me to speak today. God bless all of you and your families and all of our veterans and our military serving around the world in this incredible country that we have. And then before I get off the stage, I would like to give a special gift presentation from President Trump himself. It's a message. So Steve, can you come up here? So, hold on, you can hold that.
All right.
President says, I send my best wishes to those attending the dedication ceremony of Bell Cobra Helicopter 327 in Fairmont, Minnesota. Our nation's service members and veterans are the pride of America and embody our country's unyielding and intrepid spirit. Since our founding, they have dauntlessly defended our cherished freedoms and precious liberties. Thanks to their devotion to duty and willingness to defend our interests both at home and abroad. In addition to paying tribute to one of the nation's most historic military assets, the Bell Cobra Helicopter 327, today's ceremony is also an opportunity to honor our military members and their families for their immeasurable sacrifice and valiant service. As Commander-in-Chief, I join you and a grateful nation in saluting these patriotic men and women. May God watch over our armed forces, and may He continue to bless the United States of America. Amen.
On behalf of the citizens of Martin County, I accept this proclamation. It's a great honor to get this, and I want to thank you a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. Our next speaker is the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs. He grew up in Mankato, attending Mankato East High School and Minnesota State University, Mankato. After serving for 4 years on active duty with his wife, Debbie, also a veteran, they returned to Minnesota. For over 30 years, Commissioner Herke served the nation and state as a member of the U.S. Army and Minnesota National Guard. As Commissioner, Colonel Herke is charged with assisting the state's 308,000 veterans and their families. He also represents the department at hearings before the Minnesota State Legislature and the United States Congress, and maintains close working relationships with veteran service organizations of Minnesota. Please welcome Commissioner Larry Herke.
Well, it's great to be here today, and I bring greetings from the governor, who's quite busy right at the moment, but he wanted to make sure that we had a good representative here today, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this wonderful day with you. I have a personal story I need to say before I start. I've actually been a rare person here that's actually flown in the Cobra in the gunner seat as Aviation Brigade officer in charge at Holman Field in St. Paul. As my going away gift after serving with them as the only non-aviator, I got a chance to go for a ride. So they took me up in there, and after getting the pre-brief, I got up there. They took me, the chief warrant officer was from Vietnam, and he was very familiar with the machine. And he took me through quite a ride. And I thought, oh my goodness, am I going to survive this ride? Because, I mean, we're going left, we're going right, we're going up and down and everywhere else. We come to the end, and I can see the airfield. I said, maybe we're going to do a Tom Cruise flyby or something like that. But it was not to be. There was one thing he had left to show me, and that was a term called auto rotation. And I know some of the people in here know what that means. Basically, you shut off the engine, and things get really quiet really fast, and you start falling really fast. It's like being in an elevator or going over 100 stories down without having a cable attached. And at the end, there's a flare that's done with using the cyclic and so forth to be able to capture yourself. And in this case, he flared perfectly like he should, and he hit the engine on, and I said, thank God I'm still alive. So anyway, it's a great machine. It was a wonderful flight for me, and something that I always remember. I, too, want to specifically thank the Vietnam vets who are here in the crowd. I'm honored to be here. I have one Vietnam hat that says Remember Vietnam that I wore today. I think it's the greatest group, our biggest group right now in Minnesota of veterans, and I appreciate all their hard work over the several years of that long conflict in Vietnam. The Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs, or MDVA, which I represent, is here. We're here to help the 308,000 veterans that are in Minnesota. And we help them to connect them with both the federal and the state benefits that they have earned. We have 5 healthcare facilities. If you're a veteran and are interested in that, we have 5 facilities throughout Minnesota. We also are operating 3 state cemeteries throughout Minnesota. We're hoping to add to both of those another cemetery and 3 additional veterans homes. We also have a programs and services division which helps with veterans benefits, education. A big one for us right now is employment. We're helping a lot with that, and health and disability claims. And there's 2 important areas I want you to know that your Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs is working on, and one was veterans homelessness. I'm here to report to you over half the continuums of care within Minnesota, which are regions, have declared functional zero. We are getting closer and closer to our declaration for the state. Currently today we have 263 veterans that we're tracking that we're putting homes. And each year we've been putting over 600 veterans into safe, secure housing. And that's quite an accomplishment with a lot of our partners that we're working with. The other area that we've been focusing in on is preventing veteran suicide. I don't know if you know, but historically in Minnesota we have over 100 veteran deaths due to suicide. And that just needs to change. So we're putting a lot of time and energy into that. We've joined the Governor's Challenge, which is through the federal VA, and we're hoping that we can change those numbers and get those numbers to zero. We work closely with the Minnesota County Veteran Service Officers, or CVSOs. I encourage you to contact them. Here in Martin County, it's Doug Landsteiner. Is Doug here today? He's right there in front of us. See the guy with his hand up? He is the most important guy for veterans in Martin County. So, Doug is also a member of the Memorial Committee, I've been told, so he's a busy man. But I want to thank Doug for everything that he does for veterans here in Martin County. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring your attention to the COVID-19 grants that we have available for veterans that have financial loss. This can be someone that you know, a family that has a veteran in it. It can be the spouse or the veteran themselves. And thanks to our state legislature, we have $6.2 million that is available. We have COVID disaster relief grants for $1,000 and special needs grants up to $3,500. You can go to our website called minnesotaveteran.org, or you can see the gentleman right here in the second row. He can help you out with both of those grants. And finally, as you know, the governor is also a veteran, and I always sort of kid him because the governor was my first sergeant. I was his commander in St. James, Minnesota. We were in a field artillery battery together, and we served for a little over a year. So now the roles have changed, and he's the boss, but it's always been fun to work with the governor, and he's a great supporter of veterans. Due to the fact that we're in COVID, the actual proclamation is still in the mail somewhere. But as soon as I get the proclamation, we'll get it here to the commissioners within the county. But I'd like to read to you the words. Whereas Martin County, Minnesota is dedicating an internationally famous Cobra rotary wing helicopter that is on public display at the Martin County Veterans Memorial Park as a reminder of the dedication of our veterans for the county, state, and country who have served in our armed forces. Whereas the bravery of the U.S. Army crews that flew this Cobra right here, AH-1 Foxtrot, tail number 6615327, completed all of its combat missions in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos during the Vietnam War. Whereas the stalwart crews completed many missions of combat recon, armed escort, and received bullet holes in the helicopter at least 12 times that we know of, and was repaired thereafter, and Cobra 327 was put back into action. Whereas during the Battle of Lam Son 719 in Laos, pilot David Stenson and gunner Stephen Wilton took a devastating projectile in the hydraulic system directly behind the pilot's head, making a landing that will never be forgotten. And whereas the Cobra 327 was again put to the test for Kern County, California, for the fire department, where it had a 360-gallon water bladder attached to it, and the infrared sensors, it fought night fires, it maneuvered in the toughest spots, and earned this machine the title of the Snake. Therefore, this memorial reminds us of all the veterans who have acted bravely in the face of danger to to preserve the American dream. Signed this the 29th day of July, Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota. So in closing, thank you. Yes, that's great. In closing, I want to say congratulations on completing this. It's I read the whole write-up. It's quite a story of both the helicopter and how it got here and the work that was put into it. I want to thank all of our veterans that are here today and the veterans' families. I know my wife, I think I had 7 deployments during my time, and I know what it is to be a family member and sacrifices that they go through. But I want to thank the veterans for their sacrifices and their service to this great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Herkey. Our next speaker is our Bell helicopter expert. There's a big bio of him in that program if you got it, and I'm not even going to try to read that. But would you please welcome me in joining retired Colonel Chad Smith.
Good morning, Martin County Commissioners, and the citizens of Martin County, and all the Vietnam veterans that are here today. Seeing all of you here today makes me proud to know what I did for the country and serving 27 years and why we have such a wonderful nation. Yeah. And it makes me I swell with pride standing here looking at you and all the love and dedication to our country. So I thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. Your biggest challenge this morning is going to be having to fight through my Georgia accent. So I warn you, if at the end of this, when the ceremony's over with, if you need to find me to say, can you repeat that? I'll be standing out here somewhere. I sent a picture, Steve, of your aircraft to a lot of Cobra pilots, and they told me they'd never seen one look as beautiful as that one. And that's pretty special. They told me when I came up here I only had 3 minutes to talk. So I said, be brief, be brilliant, and be gone. So, okay, so I said, I'm going to take the opportunity here to talk to the CAVS guys that are out there with the Stetsons on their head and tell you something that you may not know, but you're going to swell with pride also when you hear this. Army aviator, 3,000 hour, I flew Cobras, Apaches, combat guy. I speak your language. And in 2003, for 20 years, Army Aviation had built a doctrine where we thought we could come up to an 800-foot hover and shoot bad guys out there at 6 miles out, and everything around us and underneath us was friendly. We quickly found out March 16, 2003, that that wasn't the case. So a group of Army aviators went and dusted off your techniques, tactics, and procedures from Vietnam. We found them in a closet stuck in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and at the Command General Staff College in Leavenworth. And we started pulling these manuals out, and we had to go back and train what you already had solidified in close combat attack and survival. That aircraft saves lives. That aircraft prevents American soldiers from dying on the battlefield. And what we did is we reinvigorated and took those tactics back to Army aviators that are now in a different aircraft, a more technological aircraft, but still has the same mission, and that's close combat attack, supporting that ground maneuver commander. And we even found some of these guys that could still help us and wanted to. We brought them in the classroom and started teaching close combat attack techniques, tactics, and procedures from Vietnam. And we used it in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we saved lives. And we quit crashing aircraft and quit doing things that we thought that technology could push us away from. And because of that, our Army aviation now is stronger than ever. I'll leave you with that because that is a legend, that a legacy, and a service to our nation that remains in effect today. So thank you for this time today. I'm going to be gone. Steve, there's a letter from the Bell CEO that he wanted me to bring and give to you.
All right.
But I wanted to take the time to talk to these guys because people like them are why we're standing here today, and I get it. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Smith. Our next speaker is our own local chairman of our Martin County Veterans Memorial Committee and Vietnam veteran, Terry Anderson.
We were going to start this morning with that famous radio, Good Morning, Vietnam, but we didn't get it. The guys that worked on the chopper, where are you? We need all of them to either stand up or come up front. Where are they? They're hiding? Come on. We need them out so you can see who they are. Stand up. Come on, all of you. This is a select group of men who gave of their time and their effort and their expertise. Where's Tom? Tom, where are you? He's around here. These guys work all the time. We came down, they'd be sitting down, dinging around on a piece of metal or something. I didn't know what they were doing, but they did. If you saw what this chopper looked like when we first got it, it was a mess. There were holes in it. It was burnt and scored on both sides, worst on the far side. It was a real mess. And this is what these guys did. They took that and turned it into that. And it looks like it came right off the line if you don't get too close. And I just want you guys to realize these are the people that did it. Nobody else. Nobody else. These men. And that's what we're going to look at for years, their effort. So, yeah. I just want you to know, for me, this has been a real milestone for me. I fought underneath that chopper. That chopper, not that one specifically, but that style of chopper saved my butt a couple times. We were in stuff that we shouldn't have been in, and that came to the rescue. And so I have a different feeling for that, and it makes me feel good to know that it's here in this community and that it is such an international champion, a warrior. We didn't know that when we started. And thanks to Steve Chase for finding it, Yeah. I'll tell you a little story. I was sitting in a meeting one and I made the design and I said, I really like to have a Cobra, but I know I can't get one, so we'll put a Huey up in the corner. Everybody goes, yeah, I'll be okay. And I said, but I really would like a Cobra. And I kept saying that. And one day, I guess Chuck and Steve got together. We had a conversation, and Steve says, well, I can get you a Cobra, Here it is. So just wanted you to know that. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Terry. And when Terry says they did quite a job on it, if you saw that thing when we got it, we wanted that helicopter pretty bad, and we were in a kind of a lottery to get it, and we got it, and it showed up here a little over a year ago, and if you looked at that, I looked at it and went, oh shit. What are we going to do with that pile of junk? And look at it now. What a wonderful effort by that group. Now we're getting back to Steve Chase. Steve Chase is our GSA liaison officer that got that helicopter. He did 5 tours in Vietnam. And he's pretty much totally responsible for us having that. And he's got a little ceremony he'd like to do with some of the VIPs that are here. Mr. Steve Chase.
Thank you, Ellett. Welcome to the final landing zone of Bell Cobra 15327. What an honor. What an adventure this machine could, if it could talk, if it could just tell you everything, where it's been. Can you imagine what it would say? All the battles it was in, all the lives it saves, the fires it fought, all the rescues of people that it made. It's just amazing. Out in the audience there, if you're a veteran, raise your hand. And And I'm so happy that Miss Powers brought that up. If you'd stand up, and the veterans in the group, please stand up that are up here. That these are honorable people that have served your country. And all you that are out there that are veterans, raise your hand proudly. Just like our country asked you to raise your hand for service, now we recognize you are the ones that made everything happen. Thank you. This event was made possible because of the people in this county. They love you. They recognize your sacrifice. You'll see some of those sacrifices on the back of your program if you open your program up. Today we gather to honor our fathers, our mothers, our friends and neighbors, and America. Someone once said, heroes are ordinary people doing extraordinary tasks in the face of extreme diversity. A hero stands out without thought of their own personal safety. A hero has no fear as God is with her or him. A hero never, never gives up. A hero inspires us all to live better lives. Thank you. Okay. Today you have the opportunity to meet some of these humble heroes of the U.S. 7th Cavalry, Gunner Mike Cochran. Mike flew with this very 327, and his logbook is in the booklet when you read it, and he's been instrumental for helping us get information we needed, so we thank you for all those missions you made there, Mr. Cochran. U.S. 7th Cavalry 1717C Troop, Acting President, Representative Jim Irvine. He served in Vietnam and was honorable service. The Midwest chapter, you're out here, right? Midwest helicopter chapter, if you want to stand up, if you're part of that group. They're the Vietnam Helicopter Pilots Association, and thank you all for coming. Some of them are also flying that Huey around through the air that you saw. So, well, here they are, right here. Some of these guys too. Thank you. U.S. Army Nurse Kay Bauer, the 2018 Minnesota Woman Veteran of the Year. Let's have it for her deal was you save them, you patch them up, you keep them alive, and Kay did that very well. She deserves some more rounds. Okay, the last one is the hardest one. John Rackley. Mr. Rackley. John's a very humble guy. He's one of those humble heroes. He's a U.S. NSA Navy diver, John Rackley. He volunteered to go to Vietnam. He served multiple tours. Many of the soldiers ran to get to these helicopters for safety. But that wasn't John, no. He was jumping out of them with his diving gear to go down in the bottom. John has earned presidential awards for clearing explosives in Vietnam from under the water. He's gone on many missions, and I want you to give him applause for that. The other thing I can say about John is that I served with John 3 tours, and there's nothing more valuable than having a friend that's got your back and you got his. That's what makes you survive, and he deserves some applause. Thank you, John. There's a lot of local heroes out here too. You can read them on page 11 in your booklet. Special thank you to the Kahlers that donated this ground, and another interesting story was a friend of mine, Randy Bank, who I wish was here. Randy, I don't know if Dale Tower is here. Dale got shot. He crawled off in the weeds. He had been there for 2 days. Nobody looked for him. But his buddy came to get him. Okay, enough of that. So thank you to the committees, the recovery team, the restoration team, and the work group. Thank you for defending freedom, and God bless America. And it's time now for ribbon cutting.
We're now going to excuse some of our honored guests to go over for the ribbon cutting ceremony. And while they're doing that, you'll be greeted by Fairmont Mayor Debbie Foster.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you to our fine city of Fairmont, to our distinguished guests, to our military veterans, and to your families. Our city is honored to be the home of the Martin County Veterans Memorial and now the Bell Cobra Helicopter 327. This beautiful location offers a place to reflect, a place to remember our history, and a place to give thanks. Local volunteers and area businesses have worked endlessly to make this site a reality. The dedication committee has planned a fantastic lineup of events for all of us to enjoy today. Thank you to everyone that was involved in these festivities. Our city invites you to explore our 5 lakes, which are all within city limits, our many beautiful parks, along with many eating establishments and lodging accommodations. Thank you all for taking the time to come today. I invite you to come back and to visit us again. Thank you very much.
Now we'll have our wreath-laying ceremony brought to us by our allies in the Vietnam War, the Vietnamese community of Minnesota.
On behalf of the Vietnamese community in Minnesota, we would like to thank all the Vietnam veterans who served in for their sacrifice in Vietnam to help us fight against the communist oppression, to defend the democratic for the people of South Vietnam. We thank you with our heart today. We come here to lay the wreath. Thank you for all the service. Thank you. Yo. Em trai. Go. I have a on my phone. Look like we have we'd like to read for all the men and women who serve in Vietnam. This is a shadow of liberty for the fallen soldiers, like drops of morning dew soaked with rays sparkling, so vibrant, full of life, to end so suddenly. You came to our homeland to build democracy together for human rights and equality. No honor so high and service so dear for our country and for humanity. From now on till eternity, with sacrifices of precious own right to be. You felt so liberty stands tall majestically, with branches grow beyond nation boundaries. Giving up yours gratefully for so many, being able to live, to die with dignity. No honor so high and service so dear for our countries and for humanity. From now on to eternity, the sacrifice of precious own right to fallen soldiers stand for forever legacy will always be ingrained in the big memory of those in depth to present so heavenly of lives, heart, and souls on eagle wings care. Thank you.
Now we're going to do what we came here to do today. We're going to dedicate Cobra 327 with a ribbon cutting, and Deputy Secretary Powers will turn that over to Martin County.
Cobra 327 is all in possession.
Thank
you. If you can't see what's going on, they're transferring the keys of that military marvel over to Martin County.
Tom Westcott, who did all the work.
Great honor getting this here today, and we'll take good care of it. There's a lot of history in this machine, and a lot of men and women here are alive today because of this helicopter just like this. So thank you very much.
Okay, if you would direct your attention back up here now, Chaplain Major Corey Germain will give our benediction.
If you would, remove your headgear and receive this benediction today. Let us go forth into this world in peace and dedicated to your service, O Lord. Let us hold fast to that which is good, render to no one evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the needy and the afflicted, and honor all humankind. Let us love and serve the Lord, rejoicing in the power of his Spirit, and may God's blessing be upon us and remain with us always. Amen.
Rifle Squad. Honor Guard. Retrieve the colors. Present arms. Take the colors.
On behalf of the citizens of Martin County, the Martin County Veterans Memorial Committee, the Martin County Board of Commissioners, I want to thank everybody for attending today. What a wonderful event. What a beautiful day. We're going to move some stuff out to the Martin County Fairgrounds, where especially if you're a veteran, you might be interested in going, but everyone is welcome. And thank you all for joining us today.